Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of That's Hot Pod. Today we're in Oklahoma City.
But one thing that is really exciting is that they have the Edith Head exhibit, so we're out here in the field.
Yes, and we're going to talk all things Edith Head today. First, we're going to go inside the exhibit. We're going to have a tour. We're going to share that with you. And then we will have another podcast episode where we talk about Edith Head history, Christian and I. So buckle up, get your drinks, get your popcorn. You're ready to see some fashion.
Also, this is exposure therapy because we don't really record out in public, so yay.
Well, Edith Head had a 50-year career span. She was very well known for her bangs and her round glasses that she always wore. Those glasses actually had a blue tint to them so that she could look at fabric and see what it would look like in a black and white movie. So that's kind of how she started out her career after, kind of lying her way into getting the job by borrowing from classmates' sketches and putting that in her portfolio. I love telling that one to people because they're always like, what do you mean? Like, what happened? Did she get fired? And I'm like, no, because by the time they realized that she had lied about what was in her portfolio, they came to her about it and she was like, never said it was mine. And at that point, she was able to already prove herself. And so it didn't matter anyways. But we're very, very proud of our exhibition. From my understanding, it took like 4, maybe 5 years to fully put together and plan out. Our curator at the time was Catherine Shoddick, and she actually left us during the process, but we were able to hire her back on as a contractor for the exhibition to kind of finish it out. And she had to go to collectors and different things like that and kind of assess the costumes herself to figure out what should be in the exhibition and what shouldn't. Mm-hmm. What explains Edith Head's career best, what fits best with us. And during that, she was able to also get us 3 of her Oscars that she won. So we're very, very proud of our Oscars. She was nominated for 34 Academy Awards, winning 8 of them. Mm-hmm. And the Heiress is the first one that we have in our exhibition and was also the first one that she won. And it was one for the Heiress, which was a black and white movie, where the director wanted everything to be completely historically accurate. Mm-hmm. So every stitch, every fabric, everything about it had to be completely historically accurate. And Edith said that was a little bit of a struggle because she was designing for 2 different decades. Over here, we have one of her actual outfits, which is Sue Klassen. Sue Klassen is the one who owns this, and she is actually an Edith Head impersonator. So she dresses up as Edith, and she has a career out of it. And so when we were doing our openings, we had a conversation with Edith Head, which was a one-person play that Sue Klassen did. She owns this outfit and she's amazing. She knows everything there is to know about Edith Head. But Edith would wear very bright colors, bold patterns when she was at home. But when she was at work, it was just, very able to blend in. She really only wore 4 colors, which was like black, white, tan, and gray, mm-hmm. so that she could blend in because she wasn't there to stand out. She was there to help the actresses stand out, which is what brings us into this next section here, which is Edith didn't just design for the script or the character, she designed for the actress herself. Mm-hmm. So Barbara Stanwyck here, this is the first movie that she felt like she was actually beautiful. Mm-hmm. Which kind of breaks my heart. She was beautiful. Yeah. But the attention to detail that Edith gave her that's what made her feel beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And of course, that probably in turn garnered a lot of loyalty from the ladies, right? Because she's making them feel their best and look their best on screen.
Yeah. I know some of the actresses, I can't remember their names right now, but they really only wanted Edith to work with them because of how she made them feel. Mm-hmm. And then Edith read the script so closely and made sure that she designed for every moment in the movie. So the second piece here, it's like really heavy up top with the detail, but on the bottom it's really plain, and that's because this was designed for just a piano concert scene.
Oh, makes sense. Yeah.
So only the top part was seen and the little sash down at the side. Mm-hmm. With these 2 white dresses here is where I always like to talk about how amazing it is that we have all of these costumes because they were not well kept.
Okay.
A lot of them were still in the kind of, I forget what it's called, but like where you check out costumes at a studio.
Oh, yes.
And they didn't know that they were Edith Head, or, you know, they were used and altered, kind of like that black one right there. We're not sure what movie it's from, but we know the actress. And I think that's because there was like a picture of her in it.
Mm-hmm.
But these two right here actually had large coffee stains on them. And the conservator who found them took it home, put them in her bathtub, and started trying everything she could to get it out. But she didn't have a history in chemistry or anything like that. So she was just hoping that she did it right and didn't ruin it even more. But she did an amazing job. They both look great.
Yes.
When you look at the labels for these, a lot of them are Paramount Archives or from Larry McQueen. He is a major collector of Edith Head. So without him and without some people doing some major digging in their studios, we wouldn't have this.
Okay, interesting. Because that's what we were going to ask. Because we see some of these are sponsored looks. We were thinking maybe they came from different houses, different collectors, different people that worked.
So the sponsors are, that's what helps us like pay for an exhibition kind of.
Okay.
It's part of the pay line, but so they got to sponsor it and then they got special perks for being a sponsor.
Great. Beautiful.
Yeah. Catherine's just amazing. I know she was like, it just took years for her to do it. I don't know this for sure, but part of her degree and focus might be in fashion, which is why she had like this huge idea to do this and wanted to take all of her time to focus on finding all of the pieces. Mm-hmm. No, she was amazing. Another thing that nobody really realizes about Edith, did you guys see the cutout that we have of her that's in our hallway next to our family space?
Not yet.
Sure.
Okay. Well, that is like real life how tall she was. She was only like 5'1".
Oh my goodness.
So she was very dainty, but so was everybody else. So all of the actresses, if you looking at the mannequins, those are the sizes that the actresses actually were.
Yes, we noticed that with these over here, how tiny they are.
Tiny.
Goodness.
When I was going through here for my first time, I kept looking at their waists and their wrists and being like, no way. This piece right here that was worn by Barbara Stanwyck, I've never seen the movie myself, so I don't know the exact, like, how small amount it had in the movie, but I was told by a couple of people on a senior group that I took through here that it was only about 25 seconds that this was shown, because it was only for a flashback scene of her remembering her wedding. I'm also not sure if you know, but a lot of the pieces that look like they're kind of like a cream color or like beige or anything like that, they would show up white on a black and white movie, because if you did pure white, it would just wash it out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so that's in one of the front pieces, I think, or it was pink. It was like shades of pink, lighter pink with sequin stripe, but on the photo, it did translate to white.
Right.
Yeah. So
yeah. Color theory is huge.
Oh yeah, that's the pink look there. It photographs totally different.
Oh, that one.
Yeah,
yes.
on her it looks amazing, but in person you'd be like, those are the colors. Okay, guess.
Right. Yeah. So we in our training that we did, we watched a clip of this to watch how her dress moves and why like Edith decided to do that kind of car wash cut. It's called a car wash skirt. Mm-hmm. And it was because of how she was supposed to move in the dance number. And like, I've never seen the full movie, but that part really explains it. So like, if you get a chance, definitely look up. It was GI Blues.
Okay.
Yes. And then this is also the first movie that Elvis was in when he came back from service. Mm-hmm. So this photo that's taken here, I was told was from like a photo op, kind of like meeting up with Elvis after he came back. But what always gets me about this photo is I want to know what he said to her.
Yes, because she looks disturbed.
That look on her face is like, how dare you? Or
she like, Priscilla, are you talking to me like that?
Yes. Yes. And he's just smug as can be.
He is. Relaxed, too.
Yes. So this blue piece here in the middle, this one helps us talk about a little bit of the process that went behind the scenes for, making a costume. So this was worn by Betty Hutton in The Perils of Pauline, and it was hand beaded. So there's all different departments.
Okay.
There's all kinds of departments that have different roles. So it took an entire team about 6 to 8 months to bead this outfit. It's heavy. I don't know exactly how heavy, but it is very heavy. So at the end of this movie, Betty Hutton had a dance number, and she had a stunt double who actually did it for her. But the stunt double couldn't wear this outfit because of how heavy it was and couldn't do the dance moves with it. So they actually had to create a duplicate of this costume made out of sequins. So it looked the same, but it was light.
Yes. But you could tell, even in person from the photo of the movie, how the individual beading or the hand beading, how it shines and catches the light and looks different than like a sequence would be more mono.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even the back of it, so perfectly done.
So that's something I didn't touch on in the first room where we were with the black that was also worn by Barbara Stanwyck. But so this kind of mesh detail that's in the back here, so that's how they would get away with more revealing clothes during the Hays Code, because in the Hays Code you couldn't show skin or say certain things or anything like that, or insinuate that there was a bedroom scene happening.
Yes. I noticed a lot of the pieces that have like cutouts or something a little bit more sexy do have a flesh tone mesh.
Yes, yeah, and just like this one right over here from Here Come the Girls, that's the same.
So it's like a modesty element.
Like we want to seem sexier, but we can't, so we found a kind of middle ground to it.
And then in black and white, like this looks a little bit orange in person, but in black and white, it's like we're almost trying to get to my skin, you know?
Yeah, just about skin tone.
Yeah. All right.
And then Bob Hope's suit here and then her dress there really show the cream that translates into white.
Dramatically,
yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So this wall that we have over here are sketches that were done by Edith. And then this film talks about the different processes that she had to go through. So she gets the script, she reads through it, she talks with the director about the vision, and then she kind of starts planning. She finds out what actress she's doing this for. But during the process, she has to sketch it out. It has to be approved by a number of people saying that the sketch looks good. And then she has to pick out the fabric. That has to be approved by a number of people that say that that's okay. And then they just have to go through all of these processes that I had no clue were like that. I wouldn't say intense, but intense.
And we watched a little bit of this. It seems like it may have been produced by the team at Paramount.
It was, yes.
To show, like, behind the scenes.
Yeah, so this film and then the one that we have about Audrey Hepburn, those were both produced by Paramount, I believe, to talk about their processes. Because Edith Head was, like, the first... I wouldn't say the first, but she was a personality of her own, not just with her studio.
Yeah. Interesting. How cool. And I'm sure this was like promotional for them as well. Like a day in the life.
Yes. She would do like commercials and different things like that where she'd go on TV and just be like, so here's a quick little tip on how to dress better because of the book that she wrote.
Like an influencer, original influencer.
Yeah, original influencer for sure. Yeah.
And then she was, we did a little research, of course, and we found out she was like, had contracts with Vogue, like selling her patterns and different things. So
that's actually like where I was going to start talking about it right here. So this is Edith's sarong. I refuse to call it a sarong just in general because it's not historically accurate. But this is Edith's interpretation of a sarong and what they could do during the Hays Code. But this changed the bathing suit industry dramatically. Like people saw this and they were like, that's it. I want it. I want to wear it. We have docents on our team that remember wanting to wear a bathing suit that was styled after Edith's sarong. I've done tours for senior groups that are like, no, I remember that I had this. It was by this designer, blah, blah, blah. Also, she like would sell her patterns, like you said, and so that everybody could have an Edith at home.
Nice.
Yeah.
So this sarong went triple platinum in the streets. All the girls wanted to wear this to the beach.
Yes, absolutely. And another part that I wanted to talk about here is the actress that's wearing it right here, Dorothy Lamour. So when I was doing some studying on it, just on the exhibition, there's so much drama that was like behind the scenes, and we think that her glasses kind of helped hide like her reactions, which might be why she kept it even after going into Technicolor and color. For the casting call for this movie, they wanted like really busty, beautiful. They had like all these like criterias for what they wanted, and in walks Dorothy Lamour. She was kind of short from my understanding. She walks in and she's got a jacket on and she's got her hair up. She looks very busty with her jacket on. And then she drops her jacket, out drops whatever she was stuffing herself with, and then she takes her hair down and just kind of stands in front of them and is like, well, this is me. Yeah. They ended up going with her, though. Edith made a comment about the first time that she had to put the sarong on her. She had to kind of tape it to her because it wasn't styled for someone who was smaller like Dorothy was. But just the gall that you had to have to make it. And I feel like Edith might have admired that about her.
Yeah.
Because Edith did that herself with multiple.
You got to play the game.
You got to play the game. And I mean, to make it in Hollywood for 50 years, that's insane.
Yes.
This piece here, so all of these are like tropics and beach costumes. These last three are Elvis films, and this one here was worn by Angela Lansbury, and I always think it's really weird because she was only 36 and she played the role of his mom when he was 26.
Oh my goodness.
And you can see in the picture that like the person who plays his dad is dad age.
Yeah.
But Angela Lansbury was not mom age for how old he was.
You still got to be hot. We can't have a bunch of old ladies running around. Only old men allowed on set.
Exactly. You gotta have that like sex appeal. Edith also didn't design for men. So that was a huge thing that actually happened a lot in movies, is the men would bring their own kind of outfits to wear from home. But from what I heard, all she really designed for Elvis were like swim trunks and like boxers. And I had a group of old ladies that I was giving a tour to, and they were like, what a thing to design for Elvis.
Yeah. That's all she wanted to see him in.
Right. Yes. So over here on the pink wall, we have designing for the home and the Hays Code.
Are these like home scenes in film? Like what is appropriate to wear in the bedroom or in your living room?
Exactly.
Lounge? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I can see it on some of these, but, like this first one here, I wouldn't wear a belt in my own home. No. But that's just me personally. A quote from Edith. Elvis had a suite next to mine, and there were guards posted outside his doors, as well as policemen posted under his window in case girls tried to climb up the vines. And she was like complaining about having to be next to Elvis because she just hated it.
Oh, the
and
circus.
Then reading about Elvis myself, I'm also like, he probably wasn't a great
neighbor.
No. Yeah, no. So on this side, we've got some Alfred Hitchcock costumes. Edith worked with him on a lot of his movies. He obviously was an author, but also like very specific about what he wanted his movies to look like, because he was designing for like the mood. So anything that was being worn by an actor or an actress was completely intentional, down to the exact shade, cut, everything. So everything had to be very specific for what Edith designed for. Grace Kelly, who's here, first, I always say that she was Alfred's, greatest love, because that's what he was looking for in an actress. And then Kim Novak, the second one here, is kind of what he found her after Grace Kelly had married a prince and moved away.
Because she didn't necessarily want to act anymore, or didn't have the freedom to act anymore.
She was married.
Yeah. So he got her for the last like horror film type thing, The Birds.
I think so.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, and then Kim Novak had a little bit of a shaky time getting used to working for Alfred because of how particular he was. So she said that, she wouldn't wear a certain shade, or, she didn't want to wear these shoes in a certain scene. And he was like, oh, no, you are. And so Edith, being who she is, tried to find ways to make her feel more comfortable with that. So she would find shades that were very, very, very similar and kind of have her choose from that. Like, which one do you prefer to wear? And in the end, Kim Novak ended up saying that she kind of liked having her choice taken away, because she was able to become her character a lot easier than if she was thinking about, well, this color washes me out and I don't like wearing this, and different things like that.
Yeah. You got to immerse yourself in the role.
Yeah, exactly. Here in this middle, we have a lot of different outfits from different movies, but this one right here is A Place in the Sun, which won her another Oscar as well, which is our second one that we have here in our exhibition. Another thing that you notice as you're going through our exhibition is there's no hats and no shoes. Those are the first to go. Shoes kind of just disappear. I think people take them home. And then hats get eaten by like bugs, moths, things like that.
Or rot from being natural fibers.
Yeah, exactly. Like this Audrey Hepburn hat, we don't have it. Nobody has it because it just kind of disintegrated.
Oh, so this was designed by her in collaboration with Huber.
No,
No.
it was designed by him.
Oh, yeah, because she was like taking credit for it, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's another huge controversy. Is Givenchy and Edith Head. So we'll start with Audrey found Givenchy when she was working on a movie overseas. He kind of just met like all of her criteria for what she wanted to be styled as. And so she took him on as her like personal stylist.
Yes.
And he followed with her to movies. Well, the film that's in the next room kind of talks about how Edith figures out how to dress somebody even if they're not here with us. And so they had Audrey Hepburn film herself in different outfits, saying different things, kind of spinning, doing different movements so that Edith knew how she moved so that she could design for her even though she was overseas. She comes back, she says she doesn't want Edith to design for her. She wanted Givenchy to design for her. There was a big thing. Givenchy ends up designing for her anyways, but he wasn't under contract, and Edith was the designer. So she got credit, he didn't. She won Oscars that should have been his. There was once that they were nominated together because he was finally on contract for that film, and they didn't win it.
Aww.
So this is like a huge controversy with her, and one of my favorites, kind of, other than the portraits.
Yeah.
Putting
A little
pictures in there.
intrigue, a little drama.
Yes. While people go through the exhibition, we do have a tactile experience binder that lets you feel the fabric. It's actually being used right now, but I made 3 of those, one to be here in the exhibition, and then one that's down at the admissions desk, kind of was like this is what you'll see when you go upstairs. As education, we want to make sure that we have like every experience possible.
Yeah.
And since we refuse to let people touch these because obvious, you can't touch these, so I wanted to make a tactile experience binder where you could touch it.
Amazing. A fully immersive experience.
We try.
Yes. And another film.
Yes, this is the film about Audrey Hepburn when she's trying to figure out kind of how to style for her.
And I believe it was when she went to Paris to film Sabrina. That's when she met Givenchy.
I believe so,
And
yeah.
decided, that she was like this more chic style.
Yes.
That really did become her look.
It did,
Yeah.
yeah. She loved accentuating her neck and, all these different things. And everything I read about her mentioned the exact words that she is a timeless beauty. So here we have designing for the wartime. We see a lot of like more neutral, muted colors, outfits that you would see in everyday wear. This is just kind of the studios trying to survive during World War II.
A little austerity measure.
Yes, yeah.
Very demure, very respectful.
Yeah, well, they did what they could. But here at the first outfit, this soldier uniform, it is a real West Point uniform. They got a bunch of them from West Point and then just tailored them to the actors. So once again, Edith wasn't designing for them, but she helped tailor.
A little styling.
Yeah,
There
a
we
little
go.
styling.
And this, again, another snatched waist. My goodness.
I mean, but that's Veronica Lake. She was the smallest waist in Hollywood for her time.
What?
Yep. She was very well known for her itty bitty waist and her hairstyle. There's actually a lot of controversy for when she changed her hairstyle, and they were saying that like the government made her do it because of wartime, and like there was all kinds of crazy posts that I read. Yes, yeah. So here's when we start moving into the 60s and 70s, and we see a lot brighter colors and just like completely new styles that we haven't seen for the rest of the exhibition. And then where we finally see someone's exposed back, where it's not, being covered up.
What year is this? In 1964, we have the first back exposed.
But yeah, no, I like this section because it's really fun. And that green dress with the kind of, drapes, scarf type material coming off. I wouldn't stop playing with that.
It's very mod.
Yes. It's very...
You got to play with it?
No. I wouldn't stop. Like, if I got to wear it, no. Well, I'm not insured to touch the art.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I've seen this movie.
Oh, really? I want to watch this movie just because of this picture.
Yeah, I knew kind of love it. It's so good. It's like a fashion themed movie too.
Ooh.
You'll love it.
Yeah, I really want to watch it. And I want this coat just from that picture too. I'm like, she looks so good in that coat.
She's like running around with Paul Newman. He's all hot.
So our last room here is designing for the past. And so this is also around the time, or a few of these movies are around the time when she switches over to Universal, which is another big thing that's kind of up in the air. Did she leave because she didn't want to renew her contract? Did they not want to renew her contract? But it's kind of wishy-washy. This is also our last Oscar in the exhibition, and it was one for Samson and Delilah. And this cloak just reminds me of the invisibility cloak from Harry Potter.
Yeah, totally.
Which also the rest of the exhibition, almost everything in here could be worn today.
Yes.
Like it matches. All except for the outfits in this room, kind of. So Samson and Delilah and The Ten Commandments are a few of Edith's least favorite movies that she worked on, just because she couldn't really design for what they actually would wear is one thing that I read. Another thing that I read is because there were other designers that were contracted in. She didn't like sharing. So there was also, for The Ten Commandments specifically, hundreds of actors and actresses that they had to design for. So she couldn't be the only one.
Yeah.
Another piece that came to us that kind of had to be fixed, or was fixed before it came to us, was this outfit worn by Angela Lansbury in The Court Jester. And you can kind of see the wear and tear on it a little bit more, and I think it's because of the fabric that was used for the gold.
Yes.
The lame.
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah, that does not hold up. I learned that while I was making the tactile binders.
Oh yeah, with a lot of rubbing.
Yes. I was like, oh, this is why I deal with paint, not fabric.
Yep. It still hold up well for the time. It's from 1955.
Absolutely. We're incredibly lucky that all of these outfits survive.
Did y'all have to have somebody, I don't know, do y'all have your own fashion archive?
We had conservators on site dressing the mannequins, making sure that everything was okay enough to display, fixing parts. There's some that they had to sew on spot to fix them, put beads back on. And that's why on every label that you see, we don't have the materials that were used for the costume, because it took the conservators such a long time to figure out exactly what materials they were and to go through all of them that we already had to print the labels before that was done.
Yeah. Wow.
Because Edith was very well known for lying, so they had to double check her. And then also you never know if an outfit was changed for a different movie.
Yes.
Or so there could have been some changes to the fabrics. This is the example that I used for the chiffon that I put in the tactile binder. So I like looking at this one.
From the Emperor Waltz.
Yes.
Very Russian, very, royalty. Nice.
So this is another one that was changed to be worn by a different actress in a different movie. So it was altered at one point in time, and you can kind of tell, looking at the picture and then looking at the dress now, kind of how they changed it. But the first time I saw this, I thought this was a Marilyn Monroe outfit.
Oh,
It kind of looks like that. Not her body shape, but...
Yeah, style.
Style, yes. Yeah. But it was worn by Carol Baker playing Jean Harlow in the Harlow film. And Jean Harlow was a sex icon. So it kind of matched up with my thinking that this could have been Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, totally.
She was a sex icon, so...
It's so crazy that we have all of these measures that you mentioned, the Hardy rules. What are those? Those, I know they had different, broadcast rules and different things, but then we still have sex symbols at some point.
Yes.
So
Is that also, because the whole diet of Virginia, she couldn't show her belly button.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And Jean Harlow was, yes, she was a sex symbol in the 30s. Jean Harlow was.
That's crazy.
I have another quote from Edith Head here. People don't understand that it is far more exciting to see a woman dressed in clothes that suggest gorgeous breasts and alluring hips than to see her bare bosom and buttocks. It takes more imagination to create costumes with shock value than it does to show a woman in the raw. But is the imagination what filmmaking is all about?
Very well said. That's a perfect ending. Thank you so much
you're
for
welcome.
giving us a tour today,
You're so
Destiny. We
welcome.
appreciate it. And everyone, come down. You have until September
29th.
29th to come down to the Oklahoma City Museum of Art and check out the Edith Head exhibit. Yeah. Thank you.